Content warning. The following video may contain material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. I am not giving medical advice or telling others how to live their lives. This channel is for philosophical, ideological, metaphysical, and comedy purposes only. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Hello again, my loves. Back to do another comment reply. So, Pack 777 wrote, light is positive, the sun creates life. But what if life sucks? Then is it like really positive? Then isn't it just an aspect of the matrix keeping the matrix going? It's technically it wouldn't be positive. Well, anyways, I will say the sun's interesting as it's the only thing, observable, actual thing in reality that gets its energy from somewhere else. As a matter of fact, it's what creates the energy for other things to live here. They need the sun, but the sun's the only thing that doesn't need to consume something else to continue living. As a matter of fact, it's the only source of energy, period, that's endless and doesn't run out and all that. Observable. But this reality is in the light. This is a light illusion, technically. I don't know if the light's positive, Pax, but I hope it is. My brain wants it to be. User EH3 wrote, and a bunch of other shit, I'll say user EH wrote, maybe people free will is limited because of monkey and worshipping false god. It is nothing in the way. Okay, I don't think English is this person's first language. Okay, maybe people's free will is limited because of money and worshipping false gods. It is nothing in the way. Okay, I think I know what he's saying. He's saying that that that's where their focus is at, on the money and the false gods. So that's where their focus is. There isn't anything in the way or whatever. I see what he's saying. Free will is limited. Or I don't know what that's what he's... Well, I don't know. It was an odd comment. It's hard for me to understand that, but hopefully you guys understood it. This world is finished. 555 wrote, why did your brother get beaten? If I may ask. Of course, my dad was violent. Oh, he was literally like a minute late back from his buddy's house. So that warranted it. Dave Ross wrote, is it okay to go when you know that we are all addicts? Just pick your flavor. Is it okay to go? I think he meant to go when you know, because do go doesn't make sense. Is it okay to go when you know that we are all addicts? Just pick your flavor. To go where? I don't understand what he's saying. That's another sort of odd comment. I don't understand. Okay, Dave Ross wrote, that's two already. The only slaves that will understand the Chuck don't give a fuck, aka not caring about anything, are those that understand. The others at this point in time in 2023 will never understand or do not want to understand. Some of my family and friends are still baby truthers. They think suicide is a coward's act. I think offing yourself should be your choice at a certain age. Who is crazy? It's a good question. It is. People want to be good. That no, don't let them die thing is a part of the good guy script that people run. Because when people are put in a place to really care, they don't. It's like, but I don't see you out doing no positive shit. In actual reality, actually, the more I get to know you, I find out you only go to church because you're trying to get to heaven, and you're not even a good husband, you're not a good father, you're not a good, fucking A, you're just not good. You're just not good, I'm sorry, I can't even remember what the fucking point I was trying to make. I think it's a script to a degree. Because if I walked up and said, this guy just died, they'd be like, who's that? I'd say, well, this is his name and the age he was when he died. They'd be like, okay. They wouldn't really care all that much. They'd be like, I didn't even know that dude, okay. But, if they're put on the spot and being asked the question, they run the script. Again, I understand not wanting people to die. No, let's figure out how to make them happy enough where they don't want to blow their fucking brains out. Well, we can't talk about that because then we got to start questioning the way the reality is structured. And, well, the one that structured the reality that way don't want you to question that part. Because we start, well, what's making these people depressed? Well, look at the reality we've created. Look at the system we're in. Like, well, let's not talk about what makes them upset. Let's not talk about the fact that depression's up like fucking 7,000%. Let's not talk about the fact that 1 in 5 people are on psych meds. Jesus fucking criminy crickets. Jesus fucking... You know, it's funny. I seen a comment. I can't remember what video it was on, but it was, they said... Or not a comment, it was a meme, I think. And they had said that anyone trying to sober mind getting through the collapse of humanity's got a set of balls or must be crazy. I'm taking my psych meds. That's basically what the comment had said. And I thought it was kind of funny. And I was just like, curious, like how many people are actually on psych meds? Like, is that a popular thing nowadays? I mean, I always talk about depression to prove that like it's sort of a suffering realm. It's like, let's see how many people think they're crazy in this motherfucker. And I found 1 out of 5. Not 500, not 5,000, not 5 million. Out of 5. 1 out of 5 people's on psych meds? I was like, what the fuck? Well, anyways, that's crazy. If that's true, if that statistic I read was true, that is insane. Literally, no pun intended. That's crazy. It's like, what? God? Well, no, but I believe it. Don't get me wrong. I believe it, but I didn't know it was that bad. Well, anyways, I'll say that statistic even shocked me. And I know we're in a hellish suffering realm, and I was like, my God, bro. I thought there were just more people pretending to be weird and all. Maybe they're all on psych meds. Maybe humanity appears fucked up to us because we're all crazy and half of us are on psych meds. 20% of us are on psych meds. I'm sorry. Anyways, he wrote, the one who's, I don't know what I started ranting about. Hold on, think off of yourself. Yeah, I understand and could argue both arguments, right? Like, for that. Should they be able to kill themselves? Dude, if your life is so miserable that, let's say you were in pain all the time or just pure suffering, who the fuck am I to tell you what you can do with you? You know what I'm saying? It's silly. And people who argue, well, it doesn't matter because if you want to kill yourself, you're just going to do it anyways, right? Just blow your brains out. But well, maybe you don't want to leave a mess for somebody to clean up. Maybe you don't want someone to find your corpse and have a trauma on their conscience. Maybe you just, well, in some cases, because suicide is illegal, they fail at it and then they get arrested because they committed an illegal act. So there's arguments for self-euthanization and then there's arguments, well, like, let's talk about what makes them upset. I mean, that's the path that I would want to walk. Let's talk about what's going on then. Why the fuck would 1 out of 5 people need to take medication to try to feel normal, man? Unless something is horribly fucking wrong here. He wrote, the one who says there is no God, good or bad, it is all in... This is weird. There's actually so many words where people like he said, and he may be talking to his phone or whatever, and it just does that. But like, I'm seeing a lot of these like words that, well, anyways, he wrote, the one who says there is no good or bad, it is all in your head. I know for sure that it is the worst pain I have ever experienced in this life. Thank you for doing what you do. You're welcome, Dave Ross. What was the offering yourself should be a choice. The one who says there is no good or bad, it is all in your head. I know for sure. It is the worst pain I ever... What was the... I don't get that. What was the worst pain you ever experienced? Suicide. Did you try to commit suicide and end up... Well, I hope that's not true, but anyways, This World is Finished 555 wrote, about the NPC thing you talk about, Chris, I believe it is a very complex reality with different veils and different entities interacting at all the same time. I agree with this. The phenomenon of NPC. Dude, I think that when somebody has body dysmorphia, that's literally a negative entity attachment. I don't know where it got attached to them. Maybe they were in 5th grade and in front of everyone someone said, you're fat, and the whole class laughed, or some... It could be that simple. That's why I say the essence we're made out of is super fragile because it gets traumatized very easily, especially at a young age. And these things... It like, that is a traumatized child, but the child didn't do anything wrong, but because they've been traumatized, they drop down to a level where dark entity attachments like body dysmorphia could get attached to them. And that's literally a spell. Think about it, you can't see yourself in the same way that other people see you. Literally like a fucking illusion on your eyes. Isn't that weird? Everybody in your reality can tell you look great, and when you look in the mirror, you see a disgusting fat body. I'm telling you. But that's demonic. Okay, so how do you defeat? Well, first off, you have to forgive it. For me, that's what I had to do. I have to forgive it. I have to sort of understand its perspective. Even though I don't agree with it, I have to understand its perspective. So why was this thing created? Like, okay, I remember the moment. Well, in that moment, I felt this way. And I start breaking down the thought in my own head. That's how you defeat a negative thought loop or a trauma demon or a fucking archon demon entity, whatever. Identify it, come to peace with it. For me to find peace, I always have to forgive because I'm full of rage and anger. So my standing state is to attack, to grab them by the throat and fucking stick my thumbs in their eyes like these things are evil to me. So I always have to figure out a way to forgive them. That's how you kill a demon. Anyways. And when they die, you're going to cry. It's going to feel good afterwards. When you kill a demon, it feels good afterwards. But sometimes when you see, it's almost like losing somebody close to you. Fresh wounds. Anyways, he wrote, the phenomenon of NPC could emerge because we are probably not seeing the other person in this reality, but in our reality with a veil. So what I'm saying, some people looking at you when you are buying groceries may look at you and see you buy clothes. What the fuck? Man, did I smoke too much before this? I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay, I see. He's saying the whole of the realm is a constant illusion. Well, no, but this world is finished. What if I sparked a conversation with that person? That girl, let's say some girl was staring at me. People stare at me everywhere I go. I don't know if it's a bald-headed guy thing. People stare at me. In my whole life it's been like that. But everybody stares at me when I go places. I swear to God, the doors open and the whole shop stops to look at me. I joke with it with the people I'm with. Here we go. Everyone's going to fucking look at me. Babies, but I think, well, no, I think that's a love thing with her. But anyways, no, most babies stare at me too. It must be a bald head thing. I don't know. But he's saying that, but what if I sparked a conversation with her? And she seen me in a clothes store buying a shirt. Does the cart I have literally show a shirt in it? And then what if I say, well, while we're both here together, let's go shopping? Does her world transform into a grocery store to appease my reality? Or do I end up looking down and going, what the hell? There's a shirt in my cart and I just put eggs there. Like, what would happen in that moment if we had to interact in our different reality illusions, though? Bobby Peru wrote, game over. Oh, yeah, this dude is a bot. Okay, the world is finished wrote, bot comment detected. Yeah, this dude, I figured I would leave him, but he never says anything, and he just always says something stupid. So, I mean, I hate doing it, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, what are we trying to accomplish here? Are you questioning my philosophy, Bobby? Or whoever you actually are, you weirdo? Jennifer Green wrote, I know 2 people who won the lottery too. They both fucked off all the money. Okay, I don't know if this lady fucked off the money, the first one, but the second one was actually somebody I'm related to. It wasn't like the power bar or nothing, but they hit, I guess, like the jackpot on one of those big scratch-offs. So they got pretty well with it. But the first one was a lady named I shouldn't say her name, but I would just call her a bitch. But no, she was nice when she was around. My mom even sort of supported her at one point. Put groceries in this woman's fridge, literally, like was feeding this woman. Bought her a Christmas tree. Took care of her. Literally supported this woman. And then when she won the lottery, and she won the lottery, the real fucking lottery, like million, I can't remember what she got, like 13 million or something, but she just sort of stopped coming around. She showed up to my mom's wedding, gave my mom an envelope and said, guard this with your life. And my mom was thinking it was a check or something, you know, like, what did she do? Give me like fucking, you know, $10,000, you know, $50,000, something crazy, you know, like a million, you know. It was $50. It was $50. And then we never seen Janie, or whatever her name was again. Ah, Janie, she was a bitch. Fuck her. Janie, I can't remember, it was one of them, but she was a bitch. But it's all good, man. That's what life does. It creates little fucking scummy people that will talk one way but be another. I love when people show their true colors, even if it is at a cost. I don't give a fuck. Like, once I see your true colors, I'm almost thankful. It's like, okay, then go. Project Birdfeeder Man wrote, it's really amazing how many believe in Jesus, even people who go through all sorts of tippity-top level rituals and stuff and have apparently been in one of the secret special clubs. I don't know how they get over the cognitive dissonance of a loving God. God is love, etc. Getting Satan to run this place and allowing all of the insane abuse. Yeah, it's just... Well, anyways, it's illogical. I agree with you. He wrote, I guess the survivors just need something to cling to after all the trauma. Amen. I'm one of them. I can talk on that from experience. So maybe you should listen to me when I talk about it. But yeah, I agree. Again, 100%. He wrote, I was like that for about 6 months or so. Brother, I'm still sort of like that. And it's been 5 years now since my original worldview was completely shattered. And I still struggle with it. I still, like, dude, if I were to call out to Archangel Michael, I would feel an energy come over me. I just think it's a script. It's like, but do something, motherfucker. Do something. Why? So do you have the power to help people, but you only come when they beg for help? Actually, I was just watching one of Forever Consciousness's videos. Well, I watched like the first hour of it. It's like a 3-hour long video, but I paused it to make this. But the dude had died or whatever. He got like shocked on his fucking tongue. And when he came back into his body, he was still being shocked. There was still smoke billowing out of his mouth. His brains were literally still being fucking cooked. And in his mind, he thought, why would God put me back in this situation? And then God, in a clear voice, said to him, in a sort of joking kind of way, did you ask for help? And then the guy, begs for help. Boom, he stops getting electrocuted. God saves him. And in that moment, and he makes it funny and it's cutesy. It's like, oh, if you didn't think God had a sense of cute, it's like, your brains were getting melted by a fucking electrical current. This dude wants to crack jokes and shit. Like, that seems sadistic and evil. Why didn't you ask for help yet? It's like, so you're an entity that has the power to help. But you need the things to go, please help us, that's the one God that can, to come and help us? Then you are an evil, sadistic, satanic, fucking demonic, worse than the devil was ever talked about, worse than the tyrannical God of the original Bible, worse than all of them. Worse than all of them. What the fuck? Made that original Testament God look like a fucking pussy boy. This demonic, evil fucking God that's in control of the suffering realm. Hey, did you ask for help though? Should I need to? Who are you? I'm sorry, anyways, he wrote, he wrote the survivors need to cling to trauma. He was about that. He was like that for about 6 months. I've been like that for about 5 years, but it was too illogical to keep going along with once I got some critical thinking back. How long were you Christian for, Project Birdfeeder? I mean, it was only like a couple years. Dude, I was Christian for like 50 years. If you were like as long or even longer and still figured it out in 6 months, good job to you, brother. You've got a fucking mental fortitude. He wrote, another interesting vid, he wrote, I hear the pops and creaks in the TV and the heat pump, etc. often, and I'm pretty sure it's not just thermal expansion, absolutely, or contraction. Not one bit. The places I hear the most are off of the monitor, an electrical device, off of my computer, an electrical device, They'll pop off the walls. They'll pop off the desk, the computer chair that I'm sitting on, or even off my shirt. But the most places I hear them pop are in electrical devices. Excuse me. And it's not thermal expansion. That's bullshit. Because I've been in the same room for a minute now, and it wasn't thermal expanding before the pops started, ever. He wrote, "It would be nice to be able to get my hands around an Archon neck for sure and strangle it." Dude, I literally just said this, like fucking, or like fucking stick my thumbs in its eyes. He wrote, "But that would be too fast for true justice, unless I dragged it out for 43 years and gaslit it the entire time." It feels like that's what's happening to us, but if you remember, yeah, I agree. And you're. It seems like you're like me, the mirror man. Like you don't feel justice unless it got what you got. I'm the same way. I'm the mirror man. It's like justice must be served, and with a fucking cherry on top too, because we didn't deserve the treatment. We didn't ask for it. So like I say, like slapping somebody in the face because they slapped you is not as strong as walking up and slapping someone in the face. That's way more evil if the slap wasn't warranted. So if you attack somebody that was innocent, then the attack back on you's got to be worse. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I would torment them endlessly, and I wonder, is God making me into like a demon? But that's funny actually. That's what I asked for when I was in the Christian religion. I was just begged God to be an angel, a warrior angel. I was like, just give me the power to slay demons and I will do it. So maybe that's what's happening. Like I'm being molded into, because right now, the way I sit here now, I'll take that job. Phil Jones wrote, "Good stuff." Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that, brother. Ethan B wrote, "I've lost my mind for this world before, and I vow to myself and the people that are around me now to never have it happen again. Right before it happened, where I lost my mind, I couldn't handle the possibility." What do you mean you lost your mind? I sort of know what he means, but I would, Ethan, if you watch this, brother, please explain to me what you mean in detail, if you don't mind, about you lost your mind. What do you mean by that? But anyways, he wrote, I think I know what I don't know, we'll see. He wrote, "Right before it happened, where I lost my mind, I couldn't handle the possibility of there being no God." That's super difficult. That's one of the hardest thoughts to sit with, that it isn't nothing there. That it's just you floating out here in the middle of this weird nothingness universe all by yourself. That is the scariest thought to sit with. He wrote, "I felt I needed a savior so desperately bad. Delusions came on and it led to sick awfulness. It almost ruined things way worse than it did for me too." Ethan, I went through this dark night. I thought it was labeled the dark night of the soul. I went through hell. Well, I'm still going through it. Like, aren't we still here? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But to a degree, but I went through a horribly difficult transition process. He wrote, "Anyway, it's crazy how the meaninglessness in the pain of life will bring you to your knees when your only hope is something you have to make up. Otherwise, your brain implodes." Dude, isn't that something? I mean, you said it perfect. What a great comment. I think I've said this before, or something very similar to this. Yeah, like when you think about, well, let's not think about it. I mean, we just got the comment. But anyways, Shangel Thunder wrote at 3308 on my "I love making this video. Thank you all." He wrote, "This is the key to everything." I don't know what he's talking about. Liberation from the Matrix replied to him, "Yes, detachment is very important." Okay, he's talking about detachment. You get your emotions more in control and you won't have a desire to come back here. Yeah, it's like think about it. What if I pumped, okay, if one of y'all died that's watching this and I just pumped you full of love, are you going to come with me? My hands out, you're orgasmically having euphoria because of this taser I've hit you with that turned you into a shock fucking. Oh, there's literally evidence that love blinds people. Love blinds people and makes them stupid. Just so you know. But I'm going to pump you full of this love stuff. The stuff that makes people stupid and blind back in the earth realm. And you're going to just come right towards me? Depends how strong your fucking mind. I love saying that. You've got to be strong in the fucking mind. That feels like my most imminent warning to humanity when I say that. I love saying that. You've got to be strong in the fucking mind. That's number one. Fuck letting go. Let it, because you've got to be strong in the mind to let go, really. So what do you really need is to be strong in the fucking mind. It's not easy to do, especially if you're innocent. If you stayed connected and didn't allow this place to fully corrupt your precious essence, it's very difficult. It'd be easy if I was a motherfucker. If I was like a cold-hearted cutthroat, I'd probably be better off, to be honest with you. But I don't want to not be who I am. And then I think, is it a weapon used against me? That's one of my fears. That my love for the innocent essence that I feel is the most important thing in this existence to me is corrupted or a lie. To corrupt. You know what I'm saying? To get me later. Shengel also commented, Shengel Thunder wrote, at 29 to that same video, he wrote, you can read. You read my long-ass complicated comments and fully understood it, right down to the nuances and inferences. You're a better reader with a higher comprehension than most people I've met in this 35-year lifetime. Give yourself some credit, Chris. Thanks, Shengel. I can read about it. I'm definitely not good at it, but like, dude, I know I'm like smart if I want to be. It's just hard for me to want to engage with a reality I'm not interested in. Like, I was talking to my coworkers the other day when I went to college, because my school history is just bizarre and weird. Like, I barely even went to normal school, but when I was done with school, I didn't have an education. So I ended up getting arrested. I sold an ounce of weed to a cop, got a felony. I was 17. I went to a program. It was about a year called the Marine Institute. That's where I was in there with like some like pretty crazy people. They were nice people. They just, they were corrupted by the demonic machine. But anyways, it is what it is. But they jumped me up to like 12th grade. So like really not having going to school since like almost 3rd, 4th grade, whatever it was, where I just stopped doing work. I remember I just stopped doing my schoolwork. I did not want to be there, but so they put me in the classes where the kids go that just won't do their work. But anyways, so I didn't have an education. When I went to college, I did the placement test. I had like 4th grade math, but in one semester, me and man, I can't believe I can't remember the dude's name. I was talking about to him. I know exactly what he looks like if I seen him. I can't remember his name. And I sat there with him hours and hours every day, and I can't remember his name. And that one actually annoys me because, like I said, I spent more time with it. But I sat in that tutor hall with this tutor. Kid was amazing, dude. The kid was patient, calm, logical. He was probably like 30. Young looking, though. He looked like very young for his age. But he was a good dude. But we got me from 4th grade, whatever I was at, to college level algebra and in one semester. And that dude still failed me on that class. And I wrote him the whole email. I was like, dude, did you see the progression I made though? Like, it just cut me a little slack. Instead of giving me a D, give me the C so I can pass. And he still failed me. Anyways, who do you know that would have did that in one semester? And what's crazy, 2 semesters later, I already forgot most of that shit. Like, I probably could. I'm probably at like a 12th grade math, but that's it. But yeah, I struggled. For a long time, not struggled to read, struggled to focus on it. Thank you though, Shingo. I appreciate that. Barry Nelson gave me thumbs up. Thank you too, Barry. I appreciate that. Shingo Thunder wrote, the Gnostics are the closest to being correct. I'd still say they lack the necessary information to come to the best conclusions, but they are far closer to the truth than all the other worshippers. Okay, again, I've never really taken a text serious because I don't like to read. I can't focus. I struggle to do it normally. But I've listened to like audiobooks of Gnostic texts, and it's like, man, these motherfuckers, it sounds like they know what they're talking about. Like, they're saying that this place is not a nice place. that we are potentially trapped by some sort of, I mean, they go into detail. They know like the people's names and all that, like it's the Sophia, and she created the other thing, but that thing to create life had to put its life into the humans, and because the humans took life, it lost it. Now to get it back, it has to feed off the humans, and they like got this weird, I'm like, hey, that's way closer to me than, yeah, and then God's so happy and nice, and he's just waiting up there to give us some love. It's like, well, what's going on in the retardo realm, though? Shengel wrote, at 26, he wrote, it understands all human languages. English is simply the most manipulative language in existence. Well, Shengel, the dude that was saying it, was saying, and he had done this, he had been communicating with this internal demonic entity for a long time. Every time he spoke a different language, they couldn't understand him. He had to speak English internally or externally. But if he spoke French, I think he said, or Spanish, it couldn't understand him. It couldn't understand him. So, I don't know. I do think it's weird that English is like the most pushed language, and all the evil like word wizardry. I'm sure you know what the fuck I'm talking about, Shengel. The word wizardry shit. It's like a gross type of language too. It's ugly and dark, and it's just like, what the fuck? And I mean, let's be honest, bro. If you chop how I sound talking to somebody that doesn't understand English, I'm gonna sound like a fucking retard to them speaking this ugly language. Bro, you put on some dude speaking some fucking French type shit, that sounds way nicer, I bet. Like if you didn't know both languages and you put the harsh English language up against like another, a beautiful language, French, Spanish, whatever, they sound way more fluid and beautiful. Ours is rigid and like square. I don't know how to explain it. He wrote, it's such a basic operating system, hence all of humanity slowly moving towards English being the universal language. Yeah. Okay, no, you see what I'm saying? Okay, he's saying what I'm saying. I'm just going to read his comment. He wrote, have you ever noticed how most non-English speakers don't get upset if you live in their nation without speaking their language? But English speakers always get upset at foreigners living in their country without speaking English. This is absolutely true. I seen evidence of this recently. He wrote, let alone if the English speaker feels... I see more... Well, what I see more of is people in America being annoyed that like they have to learn Spanish in some situations, or that's what I see them complain about. Like, why is this on like Spanish, press 1 for Spanish, press 2 for English, press 1 for Spanish in my country? Like, I see more of that type of shit. I don't know why, I don't know, but here, I need to know anything more than English themselves. He wrote, because English is a viral language back when humanity spoke one advanced language. Dude, I think, this is what I was thinking, Shing. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep cutting this dude off, but I think the Tower of Babel, it might have been English, and that's why it fucked everybody's language up. He called you in the wall. He's like, Bill, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. And he's over there hearing like some German or something. And he's like, what the fuck are you saying? Because English was such an evil language. So God fucking cursed everybody's language back. But then the evil demon thing, as it reset humanity, is getting it back to English because it's the most evil language. Or, I mean, that's what I think. But he wrote, because English is a viral language back when humanity spoke one advanced language, the algorithms worked to destroy it and eventually whittle us down to lesser languages, most specifically English, and now it's working to make that our one main language, like the Tower of Babel. Okay, he's kind of saying, I think he's saying what I'm saying. Hold on, let me see this one sec. Okay, Shengel, but I think that's proof that the demon mind virus program loves English. It's trying to get the whole world. So I think that it's still a great argument for what I'm saying. But Liberation from the Matrix wrote, yes, it would be very surprising if it didn't understood other languages for some reason. Dude, go watch Dr. Marzinski. Check out the dude that he has demons in him, or whatever. I'll leave a link to the video in this one, the one that I'm talking about. But that was an interesting one. Oh, when I say demons, guys, these are just words I'm using to describe them. What I actually mean are like negative entities that feed off of your misery and suffering. That's what I mean. I just like to call them demons. I'm not Christian. I don't think that they're actually like the devil's little help. I mean, these are great words, though. It does sort of fit too, but he wrote, yes, it would be very surprising if it didn't. It is super surprising. That's why I brought it up. It's a weird fact. What? They don't understand? No. And he himself said in the interview, he's like, they have access to all the information in my mind. They know my past. They know my aspirations. They know everything about me. The moment I speak another language, they don't understand me. They actually get frustrated that they can't understand what I'm saying. So, again, I unless he's making it up, but I've actually heard that, I think, from another one of his guests, too, that when he would speak Spanish, they didn't seem to understand him. So, I don't know. Yes, it is very surprising, but it's super interesting. He wrote, and yeah, they want only one mixed race using only English, a slave race. Shengel wrote at 2250 on that same video, he wrote, anytime I'm alone, I noticed it attempting to manipulate me. I literally stop what I'm doing, laugh at it, and lord over it until it shrinks from my presence. Then I look up as a metaphor for looking beyond the matrix to those who actually created the mind virus to control us, and I focus my intent upon them until I feel, why are you doing this though? Until I feel, okay, hold on, I'm going to stop this real quick. I sort of do the same thing he's talking about. He wrote, until I feel, so but what made you do that? Until I feel that they feel me focused upon them. Then I scream at the top of my lungs, radiating, I do something a little different, radiating my energy at max power, destroying any and all programs and parasites, sort of the same thing, in the vicinity, reminding them that this war is not over. It's just getting, okay, so this is what I do. I know this is going to sound weird, but a lot of, visualization became a very big part of my reality during meditations. That's sort of the communication. It's like that avenue of your brain is being used to communicate with you, to speak to you, to teach to you. Hold on. But I sort of do the same thing, Shengel. First I curse it out until and it gets angry, and then I sort of hover over it, sort of looking down at it pathetically, like what you said here, until it shrinks into nothing in my presence. Not just to remind it, but to remind myself what I am and what this thing is. I do the same exact thing. And then I actually, to deal with frustrations or angers of the reality, I sort of let out a spiritual attack. I would call it an attack, but it's a scream of anger and frustration. But because the scream is whatever I am in the spirit, and I realize you could make it any form, but the form I usually take is this weird bipedal. It kind of has the backward leg thing going on its legs, but it's a sort of wolf-looking, fox, wolf thing in the face. Big claws, like a fucking, like a dinosaur type of claws on his hands. His hands are very large proportionally to his body. He's got very large claws, and he creates electricity with his body and his energy, his emotions, his frustrations. And I end up yelling in this thing's form, and in the visualization, the electricity destroys all entities around me in a very large vicinity. I feel like when I do it, I almost take care of the city for the night. You know what I'm saying? But I do this all the time. A lot of it's visualization. He wrote, even when I'm with people, I do the same thing silently in my mind, and I also do this in my mind as I lay down to sleep. They may think they've won, but they haven't, at least not yet. Well, yeah, if have they won? I don't think they have. Well, why would, if you could feel the energies of these things, why would they feel fear when you become threatening to them? Why would they feel fear? So they know they haven't won. If I knew I had you completely by the balls, I shrunk you down and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids into a petri dish. You were this big. You're never going to win that fight. I could go crush your whole body. Would I ever experience any fear of you? You know what I'm saying? If you were trapped in a petri dish, not some weird scenario like I can escape and then climb into your brain and stab you with a splinter I found in your brain or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I could keep you in the petri dish, would you ever, if I completely had you by the balls, you had zero threat to me, would I ever feel any fear from you? No. These things feel fear. They even cower. These things cower. He wrote, and I want them to know I'm coming. Me too, Shengel. He wrote, I want them to fear the future they created. Yeah, you are the monster that they created. I say that to them all the time. I'm coming for you, motherfuckers. Like, I'm exactly the way you made me. And they're like, no, what have we done? He wrote, I want them to know I'm coming for them and nothing they do to control me will work. Amen. Me too, I like Shengel. He wrote, I will eat their faces and wear their flesh like clothing. I'm going to do to them what Hercules did to the Numidian lion. I don't know what Hercules did to that lion, but I love that comment. That was a great comment. Yeah, I would like to split these things fucking wigs too. The world is finished wrote, I honestly believe any retaliation against these demons will get you recycled back here. So my advice is to just get out. I was thinking, Shengel, do you think that the anger that it's created in us is for a good reason? I mean, this thing does seem to be pretty smart. It does seem to think in steps. So this is a great response. This world is finished wrote, I was thinking the same, killing their offspring and feeding the Archon parents with their own children. But now I just want to get out, truthfully. Yeah, is our anger another attachment, an anchor? Excuse me. This is why I love the comments, and this is why comment reply should be more common. It's something I mentioned. I had just talked to one of you, and it was something he had brought up. He doesn't understand why more people don't do that. It's like, I don't know either. It's a good thing to do. Excuse me for that, guys. It happens like that sometimes. I can't control it. I tried to hold that one back. Shengel wrote, there is no just getting out. Either you break out or stay stuck. Now this is a great argument back is, what if there is no getting out? What if this is all that there is? What we're trying to escape is inescapable. Then the only way to deal with it would be to destroy it or corrupt it to goodness. He wrote, there's no clapping your heels together and just exiting the matrix. Destroy it or don't leave. When you die, if you're able to beat the reincarnation process, you'll see. When it comes to reincarnation, I'm not personally worried about it. I know what I'm doing. Only thing I'm thinking about is the mission. End it. Too many people are too afraid. Don't be afraid. Get angry. So this is a great back and forth. And then This World is Finished wrote, don't talk to me like you know what happens after we die. You come off as an agent instantly in my eyes. Shengel wrote, you literally just spoke as if you know, saying that it gets you recycled if you retaliate in any way. Yet I didn't accuse you of being an agent for going out of your way to reply to my comment. He wrote, trying to tell me not to retaliate against an enemy that's waging war on us. I disagree with you based on reasons you've clearly no idea about, and the first thing you do is accuse me of being an agent. You sound like an agent. He wrote, like an agent trying to guarantee that no... well, this is a great argument back, too. This is an interesting back and forth. He wrote, like an agent trying to guarantee that nobody actually does anything at all to stop this. I don't think you're actually an agent, though. Probably just too scared. Just hoping, like a religious person, that when you die saying, I'm a sovereign being is going to save you from being recycled. I don't rely on hope. And newsflash, that hope bullshit won't save you here or anywhere else. This is all true. He wrote, run 10 red lights and tell the police you're a sovereign being and they have no authority over you. See how well it goes. He wrote, it'll go even worse with the algorithms that those... This is a great warning. Like, listen to what this means. Again, I know it's not a comfortable place mentally to go where he's going. But... you're in a reality that only deceives you all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, anyways, let's hear him out. Oh, this is a scary thought. I'm going to have to fight and struggle even when I leave here. That's all you did here anyways. Figure you'd be used to it by now. He wrote, It'll go even worse with the algorithms that those police are based on. You better be ready to defend yourself. Let's be real. You clearly don't even believe it will save you. If you really believed in your sovereignty, you wouldn't be worried about what the demons may do to retaliate. Demons in quotes, he wrote. You'd be fucked. You'd be like, fuck them. He wrote, I'm going to do what I want, and they're not going to stop me. Stop being so afraid. That's why we're losing. If you're not an agent, you're clearly very ignorant on this subject, so I'm not mad at you, but you should really not jump straight to name calling. Yeah, I didn't like being called an agent either. That shit fucking pissed me off, or I wasn't called an agent. I was called, well, yeah, I guess some douchebag called me Illuminati. Like, you fucking dork. Pretty sure I'd have better teeth if I was in the Illuminati. Aren't those guys rich? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would be struggling day to day, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways, like, hey, if I'm in the Illuminati, I want my fucking check too. You know what I'm saying? If I'm stuck in the hellhole with these fucking light worshipping retards that are actually getting on the team of the bad guy, then I'd like to live in a better environment. He wrote, but you should really not jump straight to name calling when someone claims to know something you know you don't know. You can keep playing with theory and just sit on the sidelines, or you can actually take it seriously. Stop hoping and start preparing. Start knowing. It's not impossible to do. Laugh out loud. It's literally right on the other side of this so-called reality. You guys need to keep in mind, I'm pretty sure Shengel knows how to astral project. This is something he actually absolutely has experience with. He sort of knows what he's talking about. Again, I haven't. I sort of astral projected, and I fucked it up by trying to go through the wall or whatever, but before I tried going through the wall, when I was just floating and enjoying it, it was all happening nice and smooth. I went to my job. I was like floating in front of the clock on the cooker's side of the window, like looking at the clock. I was like watching my coworkers, and then I was like back in my room, and I was like, well, I'm going to go over here. And when I tried to control it, I went to the wall, and everything turned black. I was just like, and then I woke up out of it or whatever. I was like, what the fuck? But I guess because I tried to move. Because before that, I wasn't trying to move at all. I was just floating. I was just watching. He wrote, you will either be reincarnated / recycled, or you will stop the process dead in its tracks, or you'll prepare ahead of time. Oh, and this happened when I wasn't even trying. By the way, this happened when I wasn't even trying to astral project. I've tried to astral project about, fucking 14 times now. Can't do it. I can meditate deeply. I can actually escape the body easier sitting on my ass than I can laying on my back. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't laying on my back either. I'm pretty sure I was laying on my stomach when I did this. But anyways, so maybe I'm just maybe I need to just figure out how I astral project. I mean, I don't know, but I'm not good at it the way it's like taught by people who teach it. It's like, so just lay there, calm everything down, slow the breathing, 3 seconds in, hold 3 seconds, 3 seconds out, hold 3 seconds, 3 seconds. Like, I've tried all that. I sit there, I'll do that for an hour and a half, 2 hours, till I'm like, can't do it no more. It may not be that long. I may actually, no, I've done it for hours before, actually. At least 3 or 4 times I've done it for like at least 2 hours. So maybe the first times will be like an hour. After an hour, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, nothing's happening. I'm calm. I'm breathing correctly. I'm just sitting here in the darkness. He wrote, but I'm pretty sure Shengel does astral project and all that. And it's right. You'll prepare ahead of time and skip past the process entirely, entering your own pre-made realm, or you can just sit around ignorant, hoping to just get out, calling folks names when they say something you just can't handle. But it's up to you. But I'm not going to keep doing what I do. You do whatever you want. I'm not here to convince you of anything. You replied to me, not the other way around. And that's where the conversation ended. So I believe Shengel made his point. Dude, calling, especially somebody in this community, as limited as this current community is, calling them that's like the worst thing you could say to somebody. It's stupid. Unless the shoe fits, and it doesn't fit in Shengel. It didn't fit. Well, I don't think it was called for. But, okay, I'm going to skip some of these comments real quick. The World is Finished wrote, actually, I've started to rethink everything. I think we're actually being punished for something we've done. It certainly feels more and more like a punishment of some sort. That's not you. This world is finished. That's not you. That's the mind virus. That's what it tries to lie. It says, oh no, you did something bad and you deserve this. It loves convincing you that you deserve the punishment that it's giving you. It's disgusting. It's not true. Trust me, you did not do anything horrible in a previous life. And even if you did, what is putting you back into a suffering realm going to learn you anything other than frustration and anger with the thing that did it to you? What is that going to learn you of anything? Oh, well, when I had to suffer suffering, I learned that it wasn't nice for me to make others suffer in my previous life. You could have just told me that. Or you could have plugged me into an entity that was conscious enough to already know something like that. Or we could have avoided this situation. But we allow it to happen so I can learn stuff while I'm in this meat monkey existence. It's like, what the fuck? Liberation from the Matrix wrote, well, if you look at reincarnation trickery, they will use the pretext of karma, aka you must be punished, to push you to be reincarnated, even though your life is scripted and it's not even your own thoughts most of the time. This is a great reply. Liberation from the Matrix wrote, he wrote, there's also the possibility we really did something bad, but I don't think we should entertain such thoughts until we know the full truth. I would say, find me a motherfucker that hasn't done something bad, and then you'll see how the reality works and plugs you into a type of entity that you fuck up at this shit. We're all low-level meat monkey desire-driven creatures made to fuck up, driven by creepy desires and blah blah blah. Or, you know, that chick's hot, I'm gonna cheat on my wife type shit. Like I can make more money by stepping on my boot on the back of other people's necks type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like this whole reality is full of degenerates because of how bad the reality is, though. It's not like it's their fault. So everybody's done bad stuff. So the argument that you must go back because you've done bad stuff means we're going to perpetually be here forever, especially if it's kept in a Dookie Boy realm state. If the state of the realm was more advanced, and I was some weird bad guy, degenerate, that argument would make more sense. But it's a degenerate experience, and then what? We're pretending in the spirit that it's some high-level experience where we need to behave a type of way? It's like, what the fuck arguments are these? This is childlike. I'm sorry. Liberation from the Matrix wrote, I truly think we're in an Anglo timeline, to be honest, as crazy as it sounds. Maybe it uses the template of an Anglo guy, or what is an Anglo timeline, or I don't know the meaning of the word Anglo. He wrote Anglo guy, or it is a spirit of a guy that was incarnated as an Anglo before. Angel? Are you saying angel? Reincarnated as an Anglo before? But I do think they can understand any human languages, or it would mean the dark entities could only read Anglophones. As for feeding the fear of this parasite or something, be wary of traps. Maybe the entities are disembodied spirits and they speak English and they don't understand what the fuck that dude's saying because he spoke some other shit at that moment. I mean, I don't know. Maybe them as disembodied spirits haven't learned the French or Spanish language and they really don't. I mean, I don't know. We all really don't know. He wrote, I don't know what happens after the death of this shit suit, but get back all your memories before doing anything. That's what I would say. Don't associate with anything. See what comes to you. Create a safe zone if there is such a thing. I'm pretty sure we already do. Like, haven't you guys had those repeating dreams where you return back to this like happy place dream area? It's like, I think you're already, because you're conscious now, it's like it's already happening on a subconscious level there to a degree. Like, you already know. The you that's dead already knows. I shouldn't say, well, how should I say that? I don't know how to say it, but I'm pretty sure we're already creating our safe rooms and our little beautiful environments that are right there on the boardwalk where the brick wall is and the river runs right next to where you can sit and drink coffee. It's this beautiful little, like, I'm pretty sure I already have these safe zones. Archon's Illustrator, and I've kind of once astral projected. I've meditated deeply a bunch of times. I don't think they're the same thing. I don't know. I'm trying to astral project to find out, but astral projecting is way harder than meditating. especially if the medicine's good. Archon's Illustrated wrote, my like button is fucking destroyed. Thank you, Archons. I appreciate that, brother. PKOSB wrote, this is why I listen to you. You don't put on a show. Real. It's not easy to find people that's willing to speak their minds. My daughter just happened to be around when I clicked on this video. She was impressed by the honesty. I told her, yeah, this guy will tell it like it is, no sugarcoating. Well, you have another sub. Thank you, PK. Thank you. PK's daughter. She wrote, a real man can show emotions. I'm sure you've noticed we don't have many real men in this realm. Well, yeah, think about it. Because if the average consensus of a guy showing emotions is that he's a pussy, then doesn't it take way more balls to do it? Do you understand? It's a weird... Actually, the ones that are afraid to show their tears are less manly. They don't have... Well, I'd say they're less manly than me. They don't even have the confidence to show emotions. Because people might judge, like, you're a little weak. Well, anyways, it's actually the opposite. But, hey, in the backwards realm, everything goes, you know. She wrote, her boyfriend's name is Christopher. It's a good name. She wrote, yes, I'd say he's a real man. When I say real, I'm talking about courage, strength, and good old-fashioned common sense. Good. She wrote, I love people who can be honest no matter what's going on. Me too, PK. And I love brutal honesty. And I do understand how harsh or rigid brutal honesty can be. It does hit people the wrong way sometimes. I get that. I've watched some of my videos back and I go, man, the way I say it's so aggressive and mean. But it's like, I'm going straight to the point. I got to get it out there. Say it the way I truly see it, because all I see are people not saying it the way they truly see it. So it's like, I almost feel obligated to be as real as fucking possible. It's like, are you guys still playing? Oh, if you do that, you're like, dude, you're still controlled by the mind script, dumb shit. All these fake manly men, whatever the fuck manly means. Like, am I manly? I could curl more than you, bro. Does that make me more manly? What if I can hit harder with pads on? Does that make me more manly? What if I can deadlift more than you? Am I more manly? What if I fuck better than you do? Am I more manly? What if I have a better feel? Like, what makes me more manly? Crime doesn't make you manly. Well, then I would say in that stupid ass opinion's eyes, then I'm not manly. But I guarantee you, in every other avenue or aspect of life, I would out-manly them tenfold. She wrote, why oh why can't I have a neighbor like you? Thank you so much. It would be cool to have a neighbor like you too, PK. Although I will say I'm sort of a reclusive person, honestly. Like, no, I'm not completely, especially if I was talking to someone that's like on the same level. The Age of Warriors wrote, I've also been watching many Jerry Marzinski videos or interviews. Here are a couple things he said the mind parasites dislike. Psalms 23 and 91, 963 hertz music, and 528 hertz tuning fork, and marijuana. That was also one of the things. He wrote Gregorian chant music and the Amazing Grace song. And then, but Kyung, I almost wonder, is those voices reactions to those things them playing the script of Demon to get you to believe in Jesus when you die? And you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not stupid. Well, it's weird. I'll link that interview. Listen to what this guy says. It's absolutely true. I've seen the pattern happen. You don't have to watch 1,000 interviews. You can almost see the majority of what's said in one because the behavior of the things are so patterned. But he mentions it. He wrote, to me, it felt like the good cop or bad cop thing. Oh, Liberation is replying to, I think that's Kyung, but his name's Age of Warriors. Liberation's replying to him saying, to me it feels like the good cop, bad cop thing, like the psalm about the Lord being eternal and sheltering you because you're not strong enough, and demons would run from that, with a question mark. Kyung never replied back. Great question. T-Fetch wrote, I've had this line of thoughts as a teen. Shit's come full circle. I agree it's a virus. I still think we are in a simulation and it's a virus taking it and us over to this point, but still a virus. Yeah, it's a virus that infects the mind. I'm sorry. It infects the whole reality with technology. It infects the body. It's going out of its way to win this war. All the motherfuckers that should be on this side of the fence fighting back are too fucking soft to go to war. There's a part of my brain that's like, I don't want a part of its war. I didn't ask for this. I didn't sign up for any of this. Its war is still in the matrix of all things. I understand that argument too. But I definitely agree with Shingel that if there's a way to destroy what's happening now, and I don't think that, then there's the argument that you can't. It looks like they tried before, man. Like if you look at old history, I'm sure Shingel knows all this, but it looks like the world tried to destroy itself before. It may even be an event that takes place for the devouring to happen. That may be an event that it looks forward to. Like, I don't know. Why would it do it in its own realm unless it was meaningful to it? Like people say, oh, if we stop feeding it, it'll die. But there's like, but the thing at the beginning, when humanity was being reset, didn't have that many people to feed off of, did it? There weren't that many people back then. There was a lot of children, but there weren't that many adults walking around. Well, anyways, but here, so why didn't it starve then? When the world was empty and there were like, what, I don't know, 5,000 people walking around the whole surface of this fucking plane. This world is finished, wrote, you should absolutely tell people about it for what it's worth. Tell people about what? Oh, the mind virus? That's what I'm telling people. Jay wrote, sending love your way, man. You look like me and have my son's name, and we are very similar people. Weird synchronicity. Really? Jace, email me a picture of you. Or I mean, if you don't mind, email me. I've always wanted to see, because people say, well, not lately, but people always used to say, you look like Vin Diesel. Like, dude, I don't look anything like that. What, because we're bald? That dude looks nothing like me. Like, not even close to the fucking well. But I'd be interested to see. I've only seen one other dude who looked like me slightly at a distance, but the moment he got close, he looked completely different. It was, well, anyways, but I'd be interested to see what you look like. But he wrote, thank you for sending love, by the way, Jay. I appreciate you. If I can reflect it back, brother, that's what I would do. This world is finished, wrote, sadly, one sec. Did I break? Oh, I'm sorry. One sec, guys. I think I messed this up. Oh, here we go. He wrote, sadly, we will never be able to wake them up or let them know what's really going on here because they are operating from a script. They are organic portals governed by a hive mind, AI mainframe. Oh, and I forget to add that humanity is way too fragile and easily corruptible to ever be able to be saved. Oh, God. It's one of those, like, hard truths that if you hear it, it rips your guts out, right? Like, nobody wants to believe what he just said. That was a hard comment to think about. But again, every step I take towards the truth, it only gets worse. So it may be something like that, unfortunately. Infinite Corridors wrote, hey, Chris, this is a good video. To my I love making this video. Thank you all. Do you ever hear or notice the popping noises on the walls and ceilings around you when you're going about your day? Yep. He wrote, the pops happen when these entities, archons, hyper jump into your space/room/building through time-space portals from another dimension or realm. Dude, they are obsessed with me then. I have a constant stream of fucking demon entities coming to check in on me. He wrote, the more you pay attention to the popping in the walls in the ceilings around you, the more you will notice it happens when you're making progress in energy work and when you're having new revelations in your thoughts and personal developments. These entities are in fact electrical. Yeah, they're distraction beings. They're distraction entities. I think that these entities are capable of casting illusions upon the eyes of the observer. I think they're capable of... what was I going to say? There was actually something related to this. What's energy work? They're very capable... Oh, well, they're capable of making you lose your train of thought, I'll say. He wrote, these entities are in fact electrical life forms or plasma beings of some type. You are correct about this. Our brains operate with electricity, and these entities etherically tap into neuronal pathways in our brains and map our minds and read our memories and learn our fears so they can easily manipulate us while we are awake here and while we are sleeping. A lot more easy for them in dreams. Oh my goodness. He wrote, I've tried speaking in German while dreaming, and whatever these electrical or plasma beings are, they seem to not comprehend what I'm thinking about when I speak in German in my dreams. This is another example. Try this, guys. If you speak another language, see if these entities can recognize it. He wrote, which is really interesting hearing you talk about speaking in Greek as well, From what I have seriously considered, I would suggest that these entities we refer to as archons most likely exist. Hold on, I'm going to pause this until my neighbor pulls out, guys. Alright, guys. Oh, yeah, and actually, Infinite, I can actually feel them. They'll go right through my body. Like, I'll hear a pop up in the corner, a pop off of the screen, and then feel the movement of whatever is happening. I can feel them happen to me. So yeah, absolutely, they do it all the time. It'll be like a stream of energy pops through the room, the walls, the ceiling, the me, whatever. Yeah, they're electrical beings, I think. He wrote, when I speak in German in my dreams, which is really interesting hearing you talk. Okay, I read this. He wrote, from what I have seriously considered, I would suggest that these entities we refer to as archons most likely exist in either the infrared or ultraviolet light spectrum, just under or just above our visible light spectrum. I would probably agree with most of that. Yeah, it's something like that. They're extra-dimensional beings. It's a being that can influence your life while not visibly influencing your life. It can see you without having to stand there. He wrote, if this is right, then these entities seek us out based on our infrared or ultraviolet light. Oh, and keep in mind, this also proves that they're not ever present. They're literally local-based creatures. Why would they have to use the technology to teleport to me? So it's not this all-knowing, all-seeing all the time. It has to come to visit you. Unless the pops are just like threats or warnings or something. But here are our infrared or ultraviolet light signatures, and they are made of plasma. He wrote, one thing that makes... Dude, I seen a giant plasma ball right out in front of my house. Like, right up in the sky. All my nephews were there. Well, Gabriel seen it really good. And then Joshua and Benjamin didn't see it, but... Well, no, they seen it, but they didn't see it the same way me and Gabe saw it. Like, we were like, yo! And then they turned around, so they got to see it. But we got to watch that motherfucker for like 4 seconds. But he wrote, one thing that makes sense to me, though, is that... And it looked like plasma. It looked like... It looked like it wasn't affected by light. That's what it looked like. It looked like it couldn't cast a shadow or have a shadow casted on it. It looked out of place. Fake. It looked fake. He wrote, one thing that makes sense to me, though, is that if these entities are interacting with us while we are here, then theoretically, they must exist somewhere along the electromagnetic spectrum, which makes up everything in this universe or matrix. He wrote, this implies that these entities can also be destroyed in one way or another. Whether it be us energetically trapping these things, or somehow burning them or freezing them, or even blowing them up or starving them out, if they interacted with us, then they must be operating somewhere within the EMF spectrum of this matrix. Oh, one sec. Do we create the entities? No, I don't think we create them. Traumas allow them to attach to us, but did we create them in that moment? I don't think so. I wouldn't create... Well, how come I've never created an angel then? Well, I can create some sort of entity. It's always something that's going to fuck my life up. It ain't something that's going to make my life easy. He wrote, in the EMF spectrum of the matrix, as far as I am aware, he wrote, and that means they can be destroyed and killed off. I should have got something other than distilled water. I do this every time. I should have brought some of that damn coconut water or whatever. It like lubes me up for a minute. He wrote, if you start to pay attention more closely, whenever you are experiencing the Archon psychic attacks, you may become aware that we are actually capable of seeing them in the space around us when they are present in our space. So what does it look like to you? I've seen something that looks like kind of how you would say the Predator looked with his fucking like, not that like that, not like there was an entity. Okay, how can I say it? Almost like there was just something that sort of added a little curve to the environment that's already there. Like you could tell something's there. I don't know how to explain it. Ghosts are like, I don't know. That's different. That we are actually capable of seeing them. I think I can see them. Definitely seen shadow people and all that. He wrote, in my experiences from years of dealing with this bullshit, they appear as translucent, see-through etheric light forms that move around us in our space. He wrote, If you want to try to see them, just sit very still and quiet with your mind as much as you naturally can in a relaxed state, and then unfocus your vision while staring generally ahead of you in the room you're in. Don't pay attention to anything in particular in your visual field, and with relaxed, unfocused vision, pay careful. Well, your eyes do this, or hold on, he wrote, my eyes do this all the time. If I close my eyes and rest, the darkness of my eyes starts going like this. And there's just like waves constantly, waves just like waves and movements in the darkness. So I think that might be what you're doing here with your eyes open, because I've noticed if I relax my eyes, like you're saying, I'll see that wavy thing I see with my eyes closed with my eyes open. But he wrote, pay careful attention for any subtle but sudden movements of light shapes or light forms around your body in the space you're in. With a little practice of doing this, I'm going to try this. You're likely to start for a longer time, I'll say, to notice subtle yet quick movements of translucent forms of light, which what I have seen over the years, these things appear to me as squids or leeches that float around us and constantly move around us in our space, around our bodies or the rooms we are in. They also appear in our dreams the same way any intentional causes us nightmares to generate loosh and fear so that they can feed on us. This is just information I'm sharing based on my experience over years of dealing with this bullshit. It's very good information. Infinite Corridor says this is just information. This could be such an important information to the person hearing it that it's like the most valuable thing to them. Yeah, I'm going to try this. I want to see if they look like squids. I wonder sometimes if the food we consume or the water we consume contains memories of other beings, a fish, a squid, a cow, a pig. Do the foods that we consume come with memories? And he's like relaxing and seeing little glowing jellyfish swimming around. I don't know, but this place isn't reality. Wrote, you also might smell smoke and fire. They are like jinn. For me, they come in an electrical form, and if they feel any kind of way, it's dry and gritty. Dry and gritty. It feels very dried out and gritty, like desolate and gritty and electrical. Liberation from the Matrix wrote, I truly think we're in an Anglo timeline, to be honest. What is this? I gotta look this up. Anglo timeline. I'm gonna Google that for later. Search. But he wrote, to be honest, as crazy as it sounds, but I do think they can understand you no problem, or I would mean the dark entities could only read Anglophones. And then Jennifer Green wrote, on target, this place isn't reality. Wrote, for anyone that asks why I'm against God, just look around. No one should be underneath a magical sky shaman. Amen. He also wrote, at 411, the mind virus wants us to be religious. I get random fake positive thoughts about religion and gods, and I am against religion, and God the mind virus might be God. I suffer from OCD, which I think is the mind virus. Absolutely it is, dude. Absolutely it is. Trust me. Well, don't trust me. Trust your damn self. But hear what I'm saying and put it to practice. Start talking negative back to that fucking thing. You will feel its emotions. Oral Lumen wrote, way back when we spoke about spells, that was some time ago, my friend. Been hell of a ride. We are separated by design. Here we are. Sigh. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. What the fuck you mean we are separated by design? Where do you live, Oral? I don't give a fuck. What do you mean we're separated by design? Yeah, I still think spells are like stupid, dumb shit. And if anything has the power to cast a spell, it's not a human. It's an Archon mind virus entity. So it's not a spell. It's a douchebag thinking he's casting a spell. But I don't believe in spells. I'm still like looking for... Dude, I've been asking for a practical example of a spell from people that are into the dark arts for 20 fucking years. I said, it gotta be some just total evil shit. Tell me a simple little spell. Just one where, okay, Chris, first you got to go get the branch of a tree. You got to stir some tea with it, wiggle it off over a pile of salt, take the salt, throw it up in the air and say, ziggity, ziggity, bam, bam, and your pecker's going to grow 1 inch. Like, does it have to be some evil curse? Does it have to be a harmful curse? My neighbor's actually revving up his fucking Subaru sports track thing. That's how you know you're dealing with an old gangster. But anyways, so damn, motherfucker actually made me lose my train of thought. But yeah, oh yeah, just give me one practical example of a spell, please, dude. I would love to see it. Tell me any spell, and if it's true, I will cast the spell. I'll come back and I'll say, yo, Oral Lumen was right. This dude believed in spells and blah blah blah. Perpetual Pleasurist wrote, yeah, I have no issue crying either. It's what no that. Okay, let me say this real quick. I do have the issue crying, but I still do it. I'm also indoctrinated by that dumb... I grew up the same way. Oh, man, you don't show tears, man. That's some soft shit. What are you trying to look like, a bitch? I grew up under the same brainwash that every man grows up under, you know. You take a bad hit on the field, it's like, man, it fucking hurts. Like, no, don't show no weakness. Don't show tears. Something bad happens, you fall on your screen. No, don't cry. Come on, be tough. You know, we are all taught from the day we're born not to cry. I still have the issue. I just don't give a fuck. But he wrote, yeah, I have no issue crying either. I wish I didn't have the issue completely. I guess I'm getting there. I mean, I sort of don't really give a fuck all that much anymore, but you understand what I'm saying. It's not like I was born that way. I was born into the same dumb fucking realm. Everybody else was in brainwashed with that stupid shit. That's why I hate it. It's like, man, can you guys get off? Like, you guys still living back in monkey world with them stupid thoughts? But he wrote, it's what emotionally healthy people do. The tough guy act is so incredibly stupid. It is. It's weak. It's weakness trying to be strong. That's why it's an act. Those dudes with invisible lats or whatever, you see them at the gym all the time. It's like, dude, your lats aren't that big. You're not that fucking big. Like, calm down. He wrote, crying has zero to do with how tough or manly someone is or not. I feel tech and spirit can be one and the same, or at least used together in conjunction. I agree. But yeah, dude, I've seen somebody, well, anyway, like, I've seen that a couple times, actually, where kids start crying, and that's when they became dangerous. So I don't know if it's a weak thing, but I've seen quite a few times where a kid would be getting bullied, and the kid would start crying, and, well, that would lead to the fight, and, well, the bully got his ass beat. So, man, is crying weak? No, it just showed that you've got me to this point sometimes, motherfucker. You know, it's not always a weak... Well, I don't know. It depends really how the individual views it. I would say if you're just so silly that you think crying is weak just in general, then you're an idiot. That's what I would say. But T-Fetch wrote, so dealing with this place, we definitely can't change the world. Not directly. We can change ourselves. And doing so, like tuning forks, can alter people slowly and attract others on the same tuning frequency. Eventually, could have enough influence to make a difference, but there is the existence of all that bad shit. Still, the fact that it exists as a possibility, even if we change this place. I worry about that. That's what the human thing does, though, T, isn't it? Just worries about some shit. Just like, man, like I worry about, how am I going to exit this place? How am I going to help people exit this place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I leading them down the right path? Am I potentially being so used by the thing, and I'm in this ego state of believing I'm better than it, but it's really just so good that it's actually using me to do what it wants. Like, man, the human thing is so good at worrying about shit, ain't it? He wrote, the place itself may be neutral, but the laws in terms of predator versus prey sure aren't neutral. We can't find them without evidence, and when we do find bad people doing bad stuff, there are laws that protect them. Yeah, it's so corrupted. I hate the system. Anything with system attached to it, I hate it. But especially the political system. Like, dude, are you kidding me? If there was anything in this reality that I could just fucking set all of it on fire, it would be that. Preventative measures seems the best route. I'm against rules and restrictions that impedes freedoms, but I am for taking precautions and for removing known threats or problem entities that already exist. Amen. He wrote, I still think that we are all one original conscious, while on one level makes sense, but it is just as likely a trap. Too many people reach that conclusion and then stop. Amen, T. That's something I know. Like after I got on there and I would preach that, no, everything's beautiful and everything's one. I genuinely believe what I was saying because it contaminated me, the motherfucker. Because then my logic slowly started. That's why I say don't rush into anything. This thing can literally hit you with a mind spell, this fucking Archon entity thing. It can fuck you up with emotions, feelings, and situations. Boom, you'll be in a situation, you'll feel how bad the person getting bullied was trying to boom your heart. You'll fucking cry so heavily you won't be, oh please save me. It'll make you beg for its help. It's going to do everything in its power to make you beg for its help. You just sit silent. I didn't cause this mess. You just sit silent. I'm not responsible for that environment. You just sit silent in the fucking mind. He wrote, it's just as plausible that many consciousnesses formed at the same time and that the predator versus prey law was somehow in effect. Entropy as above, so below. If there are many perceived perspectives, consciousness here, then it may be the case on a higher plane of reality. Excuse me. He wrote, we seem to be the counterbalance to the entropy, like our role is too limited that and repair it the best we can for however long we can. I don't think it even ends. He wrote, but I do think that entropy is reasonable for the illusion of time and the illusion of motion and etc. The decay of an imagined thought, transition from one scene to the next. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that well, one of my what ifs was that the God that created the reality, for him to create such a low level, grotesque type of existence to even be, he would have had to encode entropy and he would have had to make it a self-destroying system. You would have to put that into place because you wouldn't want that reality to ever grow into anything. Or I don't know, that was a weird theory or whatever, but he wrote, entropy is the steering mechanism and probable core consciousness code that got corrupted. It never stops breaking shit down. There is another code that keeps manifesting shit, but it seems to be set at a slower pace. Well, that's a really deep, interesting thought. He wrote that's an observer consciousness, I think. He's saying that entropy is a code that was coded into the simulation. Man, them people really did try to figure out how to fuck this realm up, didn't they? They literally left it with nothing but a few androids left that grew humans and a bunch of just destroyed old beautiful architecture. He wrote, I think that a lot of people are stuck in the predator versus prey makes right greed paradigm. They never shifted to a more enlightened outlook of the treat others as you would yourself. They are forever stuck competing in survival mode. Oh God, I hope there aren't meat monkeys that are just stuck there. That's so depressing. But anyways, he wrote, we all have slips of some kind in this god-awful addiction program that we call life. Funny you call it an addiction program. That's the way the demon looked when it died the other night. Well, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, he wrote, depending on if the person does work to lower and remove entropy causing mechanisms in their own life and from inflicting entropy on others, then second chances would be awarded. I would say if there were such thing as second chances, you should probably keep the consciousness you originally had in the first chance. It would make more sense for you to learn the second time around if you remembered the stupid fucking shit you did the first time. He wrote, plus, why would I go through a growing process and then be plugged back into a growing process to grow some more with amnesia? That makes absolutely no sense. That's not a growing process. That's a starting over process. That's not a growing process. That's a starting over process. I'm sorry. I'm not even talking. I don't know what the fuck T was saying. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Oh, God damn. He wrote, some people I think are too damn fluorided to be reached. Yeah, or injected or... He wrote, but we got to keep trying. I think those people are the ones that need to be in mental institutions. one of them just came into my existence, just so you know. He wrote, not prisons and not with the current medical systems and big pharma. He wrote, I think they should be on ayahuasca and given a clockwork orange treatment, but that's just me. He wrote, well, I don't want to tell you what I think this should be happening. He wrote, if this realm is all that exists and that all that die, dissolve, and come back again to reincarnate as vegetable, animal, and mineral and infinitum, then holy shit is this thing called existence that is our consciousnesses is going to do this shit forever. Unless we isolate the mind virus and entrap the mechanisms to the minimum quarantined interdimensional file. Gee, I am struggling on this one, dude, but I am just trying to read it. He wrote, I've had minor successes, if not successes, with the break pattern, Neil Goddard manifestation stuff, but it only affects the personal. Dude, I think it's all deception to let you think that, oh, you just weren't good at being good enough. That's why the realm's so... No, the realm's a fucking dookie boy realm that produces our unfortunate states. Get the fuck out of here with that lie and deception mind virus. He wrote, but it only affects the personal. I think the synchronicities are the mind virus, dude. I don't know why I decided to show both of us 117 as one of our numbers over and over again, but he wrote, but it only affects the personals. Got to stop giving a fuck about the collective. That shit's funny. The more I'm believing it's a mind virus, the less I've seen the synchronicity. So maybe it's realized that I've realized that it's my fucking bitch. He wrote, we can't do shit at the collective because it is an aggregate of what the majority consciousness invites within and perceives. Well, dude, the majority consciousness is never going to produce anything positive as long as there's some sort of subconscious demon that's constantly telling us the worst shit it can. You're no good, you're nothing, you're dumb, you're ugly. You find a person that's defeated that demon completely, and it's like this rare positive person in the realm. Or it's an NPC that doesn't hear the voice. He wrote, majority consciousness invites within the perceives. He wrote, but we can isolate ourselves to our best degree and just build from there. I think becoming conscious of it's step one, and then that's all steps. But it's not a big. That's a big step to take. To become conscious of it's a big step. There may not even be a step 2 or a step 3. I don't know what they would be if there are a step 2 or step 3. But becoming conscious of it is about 1,000 steps in and of itself. He wrote, I'm not saying stop caring. I'm saying focus on self. It's not selfish. It's just something that makes sense. Absolutely. This is a thought that's been coming to me more and more lately. Like, dude, well, when you start to look at your mind, like, man, quit lying to me. Quit telling me this dumb shit and that dumb shit. This is what I really feel. It is positive. It does become, well, I think it's because we're positive. We're constantly trying to be contaminated by something else. But that, yeah, the more you realize that that is something else, it's not you, the more you depend on you, the more love that's going to come out of you. He wrote, get your own house in order, or put your own oxygen mask on first. Affect the world indirectly through the natural and observable laws of this place, like side effects of handling your own shit, and it spills over into the collective because it's impossible to even make a dent in the collective, because of entropy. He wrote, I think Chris is an honorable man that broke down one day after observing too much shit in an entire... Oh, I'll tell you exactly where I snapped. In an entire time, and that made him completely contemplate suicide. No, okay. Actually, I related it back to when my group of friends sort of all kind of went our own ways, is when I guess my depression started. And I don't know if that correlates to my depression, but I was probably about 24, 25 when my depression... No, it was earlier than that, actually. It was probably 22, 23 when my depression started. And I tended kind of like bad days. I was like, oh, that just wasn't a good day. That's how it started, just like bad days. But it's progressively became worse and worse. And by the time that I snapped, and maybe I snapped before it, I'm not sure, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back was my dog died. And I was just, I just didn't care. Any little bit that cared was just like, I was like, yep, had just about enough now. Had just about enough now. I was done. I was like, that's it, I'm done. But yeah, I definitely had a bad long time of depression, and it's weird. You think I would have, because I was in an abusive household, but really, even after the abuse, I was happy. Like it's like almost like the abuse didn't affect me till later or something. But anyways, Hero, I think a lot of us can relate. So he made a channel after discovering the oneness in meditation that he wants to genuinely help make this place better while we are here and make sure we never come back once we are out. I concur with making this place better while we are here, hence this comment, and I agree with not wanting to come back. Yeah. I don't know if the destroy it mentality is the right one. It's like, man, what if this is all there is? Then fixing it's the only option. And if fixing it's impossible, then destroying it is the only option. 43 Stacks of Oak wrote, where did all the videos go? Into the ether of nothingness. This place isn't reality wrote, I am not one with any god. There is no original creator. Archon's Illustrator wrote, I'm personally open to the oblivion upon or option after death. If we get a choice, oblivia is when there is just nothing inside nothingness. Yeah, I don't know if I want oblivion. I want a good existence. But if I have to choose between a shitty existence and oblivion, it's funny. He talked about seeing them. It's actually just seen another one move. It's like a like a translucent type of creature. But anyways, I ended up losing my train of thought. I ended up hearing a little bit of the electricity, and then some come actually off my shirt. Maybe technology, guys. It may be like 4G something. I don't know. I think it's a spiritual thing. Oblivion. Yeah, I don't know if I want to never just not exist, but if I have the choice between shitty existence or that, I would choose oblivia. Hero, is there a difference from the brain and the mind? I've never thought about that. That's a weird question. Yeah, oh yeah. No. No, the brain, well, when I say the mind, I'm kind of, what happens in the brain when I say the mind, so I don't know. I think they're the same thing. Yeah, brain and mind are the same thing. The brain is the physical meat tool used so that the beautiful essence that was forcefully plugged into the meat monkey can suffer or whatever, and also, I don't know, in the background, subconscious, fucking also whisper in your ear and tell you how fat and useless and dumb you are all the time. Alright, I'm going to do this one, and then This World is Finished wrote, Shengel is a Matrix bot infiltrator. Watch out for this guy, guys. And then a future Cluse wrote back to him, why, how so, in what way? Seems like he is a very intelligent and on point. Watch out for what? And then This World is Finished wrote back, he writes walls of text, just a bunch of nonsense. This world's finished. What's going on with you, dude? Like, why are you doing that? That's weird. He doesn't seem like an agent to me. And your excuse to why you think he's an agent is because he writes walls of text. I'm starting to think you're an agent, dude. This world is finished. 555. Okay. Well, anyways, this place isn't reality. Wrote, I'm not a part of God or a divine spark. I am my own being. I hope that that's true. I feel like I'm my own being. I don't feel like I'm a part of this fucking bizarro realm, but I do feel closely related to a lot of you guys. I've even had exact experiences that a lot of you guys have had. So I do feel connected, whether I like it or not, to at least some people. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.